Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Tel Cockerel, Monday, the 14th of October. It's the international weekend bonus 2 predictions results show. Now, that was a mouthful. For what we did on Friday and what's happened over the weekend. I hope each and every one of you is really, really well today. The weather's gloomy here in England. But however, that doesn't put you off. I hope you're all healthy and you are happy and that you're having a good Monday. For those that started, those in the afternoon, for those in North America starting their Monday out, I wish you a good Monday. And those that in Australia who are ending their Monday or have started their Tuesday, I hope you are also well. Right. Today, along with the predictions, I'm going to say hello to a few people, and then I have got a question to ask everyone. So I've got good afternoon to Adrian. I hope you're well, sir. Big John, hope you're well, mate. Hit them likes up, people, and afternoon marching on together. John says, I think my predictions went out of the window. I have a question to ask, and you hope it's not sexual. No, it's not a sexual one. Drula's here. Good afternoon, Drula. Says, good afternoon, Jose and the Cockerel Crew. Good afternoon, Drula. I hope you're well. Ryan G. Good afternoon, Jose. I don't even want to know my results for this week's predictions. Awful. Peter Kagayas is here. Says it's 2:01 a.m. in Melbourne. So good morning to you, Peter. He says, hey, hail. I'm outside the house in the outskirts of Melbourne. Kangaroos on the front lawn. You've got big up from Daniel. What else? You're always going to get a big up from Daniel. Good afternoon, Daniel, sir. Finn is here. Big up, Jose. Good afternoon, Finn. I hope you're well. Ian in Spain. Good evening. Buenas tardes, Ian. I hope you are well, sir. Nice show yesterday. There. If you haven't been able to see it, then get over and see it. I also streamed it to my audience as well. It was very insightful. Yeah, very, very insightful. And then you've got Daniel Coys says, big up, John, mate. Time to find out how everyone's done on our Scottish pub size predictions, mate. Mine were horrific, says Ryan G. John says, I think we all went tits up. Drula says, I'm flued up, drugged up, and looking forward to the show. Drula, I wish you nothing but the best. I hope that the passes really soon and that you're not too down with the buggies, the lurgies. I hope it all gets better. Get some stuff into you, darling, and get yourself better. EMF says, I just made up scores. I might have scored 20 or 0. Get well soon, Drula. There we've got. Ian says, yes, thanks, as always, mi amigo. Ryan G says, I'd be lucky if I got 4 points. We got Ed M says, hi, Jose in the chat. Good afternoon, Ed. I hope you are well, sir. So I have got a question, so please bear it in mind that I have a question for all of you that play predictions following feedback from last Friday's show, right? And I will be asking this, right? So I will be asking everybody that's in the show a question about the predictions. But before we start with the results, I think from the people that are in here already, if you can remember your predictions and your scores, how many points do you think you scored? Is what I'm going to ask before we actually share it all at the moment. I just want to see what people, straw poll of what people thought they scored this week. Good afternoon, Ronnie. I hope you're well, sir. I hope you're well. Drula thinks she scored 3. Let me find Drula. I won't give it away. I'll only say if you're right or wrong. But if you're not, then I'm just going to say, no, you're wrong. Just need to find the people's names because this would turn about the other way the other day, didn't it? Let me see, Drula. Let me find Drula. Right. No, you're incorrect, Drula. Adrian, you're incorrect. Ed M. I'm not going to. I'm just going to tell you you're right. That's all. Ed M is incorrect. Ronnie, God, Ronnie, Ronnie's flying high if he thinks that. Ronnie, you're incorrect. Carl Simpson says, I didn't know I had a talent for pub football in Scotland. I reckon about 8. So Carl Simpson, what did you get? Nope, Carl Simpson's incorrect. Johnny Bethnal Green. Just remembered you were on thank fuck. -7 points. Now you're incorrect. I ain't got a clue as I didn't write them down, says Big John. Ed says not a clue. EMS says no idea, sitting on the beach making them up. Daniel says, I ain't got a clue about any of my predictions, mate. I just took it in turns scoring games 1-0, 2-1, and 2-0. It's fair enough. It's a fair way of doing it. Good morning, or no, good evening to you, David. Good day, everyone. Hello, Jose Cobber. Good evening, David. I hope you're well, mate. I hope you're well. Ryan G, you weren't. Ryan G, what did you say? Let me just go back up. I'm going for 4. You can't keep guessing and guessing over again. If you've got the correct score, I will let you know. No, you haven't got the correct score, so I can't give you that one. Ian Meff says, okay, 6. Ian Meff. No, incorrect. Spurs diehards. Adrian says, I cannot remember any of my predictions, but Scottish football has that effect. Ronnie is, did you see your first guess, Ronnie? Ronnie's saying 11. No, Ronnie, you're wrong as well. Oh well, no one's right. David Shear's saying 2. Let me see what Mr. Shear. I'll only tell you if you got it right or wrong, Mr. Shear. And I'm having a look for Mr. Shear. It was bonkers this week. That's what I'm going to say. Absolutely bonkers. You'll figure it out when I bring it all up. No, Mr. Shear, you are not on par, mate. Good afternoon, Colin. I'm asking everyone, Colin, how many points do you think you got this week, mate? I might as well ask you as well. Nobody has hit it on the nail, their exact score, and because of that, I can't say, yeah, you got that, because you haven't hit your exact score. I caught them all. I mean, someone pointed out to me that we actually had 17 games. Sorry, I said we got 17 results to do, and it was actually 18 in the end. So, Ian Mess said we need to play the cards right, higher or lower. Colin Blackshaw thinks he got 8, and Colin Blackshaw thinks he got 8. Let me see, Colin Blackshaw. No, Colin Blackshaw did not get 8. Right. Without further ado, then, do you guys want to know what you got? If you want to go know what you got, I'll get it all ready for you guys. Coover reckons he got 2. Let me see what Coover got. Let me see if Coover's got 2. Coover. No, Coover's not. Didn't get 2 either. Right. Sorry, whilst I'm here, I might as well tell people because otherwise you guys need reminding. There you go. Please consider it in the like button. You guys all need reminding. The like button's not being caressed today. Right. Without further ado, I'm going to have to look up the results as well as, let me go back to the scores for Sunday. Because that's the only way it's going to work is if I can find out the scores for Saturday. And scores happened different rates because there was different matches going on. Banners, right, I'm going to get rid of the cockerel so people can see the top corner. Let me get rid of the cockerel for a second. Right. The first game was Crawley versus Shrewsbury. And that ended up 3-5. 3-5 that score was. And lo and behold, only 4 people had the away victory. So got a point each. And that was it. No one got the right score on that at all. The next game was Peterborough versus, this is just going to be a long one, isn't it? Peterborough versus Rotherham United. That was a 3-3 draw. And the only person to correctly predict a 3-3 draw was Bobby K. Bobby K, who came in and just put a load of selections down, loads of different selections down, ended up scoring 3 points in that game. Anyone else, and because this wasn't a high-scoring game, Rob Belcher picked up a point. Kuva got a point for that. Vindaloo got a point, and so did Nita, because they all went for draws of 1-1 or 2-2. The next game was Cheltenham versus Notts County, and that ended up in a 2-2 draw. And Peter Kagayas got 3 points there. So did Chris Peters, David Shear. Change that one, so I've done one wrong. Hotspurs have been given too many points. Oh no, I got that wrong. Right, so Hotspurs should have 2 points less. 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, Hotspurs is incorrect. Right, so I've just found that Hotspurs is incorrect by 2 points. So the league table will change for that. Ed M, Destiny 5 all had the 2-2 draw. Apart from that, Hotspurs had 1-1. Kuva had 1-1. Colin Bradshaw had 1-1. Rob Belcher 1-1. Lee Smithy Smith 1-1. And Big John 1-1. So you all scored a point for that. The next game was Barrow versus Morecambe, and that was an away victory by 1-0. And only one person predicted that score, and that was Ian Meth, predicted a 0-1. Apart from that, people that picked up a point there were Rory's War, Queen Ellie, Destiny 5, Ed M, Adrian, Gus Parker, all had an away victory, so therefore picked up a point. The next game that we're looking at was Cheltenham versus Swindon, and that ended up as Cheltenham 2, Swindon 3. The only person to get the correct score was Gus Parker. Apart from that, people that predicted an away victory were Queen Ellie, Phil Coys, Hotspurs, Adrian, Rob Belcher, and Big John predicted an away victory. The next game was Doncaster versus Crewe. Whoops. Doncaster versus Crewe, and that ended up in a 1-1 draw. The people to correctly predict that were Rob Belcher, and that was it. People that got a point for a draw was Queen Ellie, Phil Coys, Vindaloo, Bobby K, Ronnie, and that was it. And then you've got Gillingham versus Accrington Stanley. There's plenty of white on this board, you can see. Gillingham versus Accrington Stanley ended up with a 1-2 scoreline. Dan Coys got 3 points in that one for the correct score. David Shear also got the correct score. And the only other two people that predicted an away victory were Phil Coys and Ian Meth. So they scored a point each for it. The next game was Harrogate versus Newport, and that ended up as a 1-0 victory for Harrogate. And the person who got that right was Colin Blackshaw with a 1-0 victory, got 3 points. Apart from that, home victories for a point went to Jose, Adrian, David Shear, Round Table Talk, Vindaloo, Quez Ali. And then we went to MK Dons versus Port Vale. This ended up being MK Dons 0, Port Vale 1, and the correct scoreline was predicted by Ronnie and Nita. And those that predicted an away victory and got a point were Hanno, Ed M, Hotspurs, Mikey Romero, Paul G, Gus Parker, Dan Coys, Graham, David Clark, Carl Simpson, Rob Belcher, Smithy, Drula, and Big John. The next game we come to is Salford versus Grimsby, and that ended up being Salford 1, Grimsby 2, and the correct scores there went to Jose, Grant, Chris Peters, Bobby K. And then the away victories for that game for a point went to Carl Simpson, Paul G, and Anita. The next game was Tranmere versus Bradford, which ended up being Tranmere 0, Bradford 2. And for this, the correct score was hit by Ronnie, Mikey Romero. And then other than that, people that went for an away victory and got a point were Nita, Richard, who's Rory's War, Hotspurs, Johnny Bethnal Green, David Shear, Kuva, Alan, Ratdos Madness, Chris Peters, Dan Coys, Colin Blackshaw, Graham, Smithy, Drula, and Big John. Partick versus Falkirk was the first Scottish Championship game that we looked at, the only Scottish Championship game, and in that, Peter Kagayas correctly predicted 1-1. So did Colin Blackshaw, and so did Ian Meth. Down the bottom there, Ian gets a green as well for predicting that, so they're all on 3 points. To get 3 points for predicting that. People that had a draw that scored a point were Phil Coys and Smithy. Ended up getting a point each for that one. Then we move on to Edinburgh versus Spartans. And that ended up Edinburgh 2, Spartans 0. And the correct score was hit by Colin Blackshaw, Gus Parker, Mikey Romero were the only 3 that got the correct score. But home victories were for Jose Grant, Peter Kagayas, Adrian, David Shear, Johnny Bethnal Green, Destiny 5, Nick Roundtable Talk, and Queen Ellie, so scoring a point each. And that was the Scottish Division 2 game. And then in the Scottish Challenge Cup, it was Dunfermline 2, Kelty Hearts. Now, I think a lot of people confuse this with Hearts from the Premiership, because when people were putting scores in, they were saying Hearts. And I'd only put it up as Dunfermline versus Kelty, I think. But the people that got that correct, the 2-1 victory, were Grant Packham, Lee Smithy Smith, Carl Simpson, David Clark, Chris Peters, Alan Ratdos Madness, Ryan G, Paul G, David Shear, Ed M, Roundtable Talk, and that was it. And then the other people that went for a home victory and got a point were Quez, Queen Ellie, Phil Coys, Vindaloo, Destiny 5, Hotspurs, Johnny Bethnal Green, Mikey Romero, Kuva, Alan Gus Parker, Ronnie, Dan Coys, Colin Blackshaw, Graham, Peter Kagayas, Rob Belcher, Drula, Big John, and myself. The next game in the Scottish Challenge Cup ended up Airdrieonians 1. Who were they playing against? They were playing against a team from non-league, weren't they? And this is the team that they'd smashed 8-0 in July, and I was telling everyone about it. East Kilbride, that's it. East Kilbride Airdrieonians versus East Kilbride, ending up in a 1-1 draw. And the people that got that correct score were Peter Kagayas, a draw went for a point for Bobby Kay, Vindaloo, Phil Coys. Who says form goes out the window when you're playing cups, eh? Who says that? Right, the penultimate game was Ayr versus Peterhead, I think, and that ended up being a 2-1 victory for Ayr. And in that game, the people that correctly predicted were Smithy, Carl Simpson, Adrian, Nick from Roundtable Talk, Raw is War, Richard, Hanno, all got the 3 points. People that predicted a home victory and got a point were Ian Meth, Quezali, Nita, Queen Ellie, Vindaloo, Destiny, Ed M, Bobby K, Hotspurs, Johnny Bethnal Green. Paul G, Kuva, Ryan G, Alan, Gus, Ronnie, Chris, Dan Coys, Colin, Graham, David Clark, Rob Belcher, and me. And then the last game ended up being, I have to look this one up. The last game was Livingston versus Inverness. If I remember right, that was ended up a 2-2 draw. Just go and check again. Yes, that ended up as a 2-2 draw, and nobody predicted a draw. Sorry, nobody predicted the right score. But we had 2 draws. Phil Coys and Queen Ellie picked up a point each for the draws. Now, just out of curiosity, Adrionians versus East Kilbride, where it was done on the league basis. They smashed them 8-0 earlier on in the season in the other cup, League Cup in July. They ended up drawing this game 1-1, and East Kilbride went through on penalties. So if we were ever to do another Challenge Cup week again, then East Kilbride are through to the next round. Who would have known? All right, let's see what the chat says before I give out the final scores on the doors. Because you lot have been going mad. Right, here we go. 3 kind of what we got. Carl Simpson says, "I'll take the night." No, come on, let's get back in the game. Where am I? Ronnie says, "I've got 12, so I was close." David Shears laughing at 13. Carl Simpson says he'll take 9. Daniel says, "Look how many bloody games I got wrong. It was difficult. Everyone, it was difficult." Big John says 5 FFS. Mikey says, "How's everyone? 9 points works for me." Totspurs has a fault which I've worked out, and so therefore I can't update the league live. So he will start with 2 points less next week. Daniel Coy says, "Big up, Colin, mate. When did you become an expert on Scottish pub sides?" Ryan G says 5. I didn't think I got a correct score, to be honest, but I'll take it. What game did I get the correct score in? I watch every Gillingham game. Trust. Cooper says, "Oh, I'm never bothering to look up any of these sort of bullshit teams again on a bonus week. Just doing a random selection of numbers in and not waste my time." 11 bloody games out of 18 scored nothing. That's shameful. It was pretty much across the board. There was so much white across the board. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe how much white there was across the board. So we all probably thought, or more or less thought in the same direction, because there was a hell of a lot of white there. What does Ryan G says, "I did even worse than that, Daniel. Never got so many results wrong since doing this." Ryan says he only scored in three games. Ian Meff says, "How did I do in the games I wasn't entered for?" I don't know, because I didn't bother looking at people that give me the results before the games or after the game started. The games wouldn't have counted, so I've not bothered looking, Ian. You weren't the only one. There was other people as well. That there's quite a few. In fact, there was about. Let me have a look. What we got here. Go on the caught up in the comment section, and there was 2 of you that sent me scores after games have started. You missed 4 games, Ian. So by the time you sent me yours, 4 games are already kicked off. Quez missed out 1 as well. 2. Quez missed out 2, actually. 2 games. So, you can only do it by, like I said, if people send them to me, right, if you send them to me a minute before kickoff, you'll be included. Send it after the game's kicked off. I'm not going to include them in there. Ryan G says, screw the owners, beat the same team 8-0 it was in the previous fixture and go on and lose on penalties. Thank you for taking my last few games. No problems whatsoever. That 8-0 to 1-1. No wonder we stood no chance. Shemtam says, "Good afternoon, Mr. Jose Bossman. Hope you're doing well today and had a nice weekend." I have, Shemtam. It's really nice to see you here, mate. It's been a while. I hope you're well. Ellie Women's World Cup show. So it's Queen Ellie, for everyone that doesn't know, says, "Hey, Jose, long time no speak." Not has had a lovely chat. Now I want to know where I stand, as I missed so many weeks. I'm playing catch up, unfortunately. Love these shows and not going to say the BU word, hun. Alan says, hi, Jose. I hope you're well. I am. I hope you're well as well, Alan. I hope you've seen what you've done. Oh my God, I'm playing the game as bad as we played in the second half versus the Seagull lot in the South Coast nearer to you. Thank Jose, thank God. Surprised I got 8 points is what Adrian says. Like I said, the bonus week was going to be a week where you could make points, you know, and in essence, if you took part, you scored points. So, you know, at the end of the day, any points was points that you would have got as a bonus that you wouldn't have had you not come on. 9 for me, and I was disqualified on 3. I will ask for a steward's inquiry. Adrian, I'm in the vitamins. I'm in the vitamins you suggested, magnesium and vitamin D, and it's really helping. They will get you a good night's sleep. Right. So, bearing in mind that I've done the league table and I've had it. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, Jordan. Hope you're well, sir. Bearing in mind that you guys have already done the league tables, it means I can't change anything on the league table at the moment. But we know that Totspurs has been given 2 points too many. So, with that being said, I will go back to the point system again. Let me individually what you all right, let me have a look. Am I down to Destiny 5? Right, so in order, we have right. So Jose scored 9 points. Oh, Grant Packham scored 8 points. Big John 5. Drula 4. Smithy 10. Rob Belcher 10. Carl Simpson 9. David Clark 6. Peter Kagayas 12. Spurs GCTV 5. Colin Blackshaw, the man of the week, scored 15 points. Dan Coy's 9. Chris Peters 12. Ronnie 12. Gus 10. Alan 9. Adrian 8. Ryan G 5. Kuva 6. Paul G 7. Mikey Romero 9. David Shear second, I think, this week with 13 points. Johnny Bethnal Green 6. Tot Spurs 7, because I've had to one of his results was wrong. So Tot Spurs is actually 7. It says 9 on there, but I've changed it, and I'm gonna have to change it in the league table as well. But he's 7. Bobby K 10. Ed M 10. Destiny 5 8. Record 7. Rory's War 6. Nita 8. Hanno 4. Quezali 4. Ian Meth 9. So they're your points, individual scoring points. And then what that then does to the league table. There's the league table. What does it do to the league table? Before I get to that, Daniel Coy says, Jose thinks he's a smooth operator mugging us off with these predictions. We must get our revenge. I wish you could give me 2 more extra points this week. Right. League table wise, where does this put us in the league table? And remember, I've got a question to ask you all about the predictions based on feedback that I got last week. So, predictions. Right, from bottom to top, here we are. Right, now I have to go and find the league table. That takes us up to 54th. Okay, so if I go that way. Right, so from this, you can see Vindaloo has moved up into 67th place. So Vindaloo was on the move. Round Table Talk has moved into 60th. Grant into 57th. And our very own Queen Ellie has gone into 54th place. So you missed a few weeks, but you started to climb, Ellie. This is up from 50th place to 25th place. So we have the movers and shakers this week, and this is Gus Parker has gone into 44th, Hanno into 42nd, Nita has gone into 39th, Mikey Romero into 36th, Bobby K into 34th, Smithy 32nd, Bill Coy's 31st, points. Do these points, which I'm doing now. Will drop into. Still would have climbed, but he would drop into 26th, and Lee Wiskid would be in 25th. So they swap places on the virtue that Lee has more correct scores in correct results than Totspurs. So that's Totspurs in 25th. And then the top 25, we have Johnny Bethnal Green into 24th. Colin Blackshaw is into 23rd. Peter Kagaias, 22nd. Ed M, 18th. Jose, 17th. Ian Meth, 16th. Rob Belcher is 13th. Destiny 5 has jumped into 12th. David Shears climbed into 11th. Carl Simpson is up to 8th. Alan is up to 7th. Dan Coys is up to 6th. Ronnie has gone into 4th. And we have a new leader. Chris Peters has gone into first place by 1 point. But Chris Peters is now the man to catch. So Chris Peters is now the man to catch. So, but with saying that, the points difference between first and 24th, the points difference is 21 points. Weekly, you should be able to climb up it. But the person in the lead at the moment is Chris Peters. And it's interesting because if you look at Drula's got double predictions right. She correct scores and 29 and 29 scores, and she's in 15th. But she's got 11, and people above her have got less correct scores than her, but have had more predictions. So it just shows you how open it actually is. But well done on Chris Peters climbing to the summit. He's done really, really well climbing to the summit. And yeah, it's very close. You look at the table, it is extremely close. Extremely close. Quez has just joined us. Says good morning, everyone. I don't have the best of weeks quiz, but you sent me when you sent me your message on the when you left your fixture predictions on the comments. You left them there, but 2 games had already kicked off. So two of the games I couldn't score for you. So we are where we are now. I got some pretty good feedback last week for the show on Friday. Now, it might be different now that you've all seen your points today. Right, let me just go back in because we've got Nick here and we've got Quez. So Nick and Quez, just for you, right? For Nick and Quez, the scores last week were, and I'm just trying to see where you both were. Right, so for Quez, last week you scored 4 points, Quez. And there was 2 games that you missed out on because you'd sent me them after the games had started. And Nick, Roundtable Talk, you did you're just above there. You did your 2-1s right across the board, and that served you to get 9 points, Nick. So Quez got 4 points, and Nick, you got 9 points. Yeah. I think Alan, you've seen what points you got, haven't you? I think, but if you haven't, Alan, you, sir, this week. I need to find you, Alan. Right, Alan, you scored 9 points as well this week, mate. You're about halfway down. You scored 9 points this week. And what that does to the league, I don't know whether it's affected you three. I know it's affected Quez, because Quez has come down a little bit. Who am I looking at? I'm looking at Nick. Right, round table talk. Right, I think you might have gone up, Nick. Yeah, right, okay. So Nick, you've gone into 60th now. You're in green, which means that you've moved up the table this week. So there's you in 60th, mate. And then with Quez and Alan, you've gone into 7th. So you're green. You're a mover this week. You've gone up. You've gone up into 7th. And Quez, you dropped this week. You've dropped down to 9th. Still tight because the new leader is Chris Peters on 73. So it's still tight, but that's what happened this week. Right, let me have a look what you got to say in the chat. So what I was just about to say, Phil Coys is coming now. So now I've got to do it again with Phil. Right, so Phil, you, sir, were down. Right, let me see where you were. Were you in this one? Yeah. Phil Coys, this week, Phil, you scored 8 points, Phil. You scored 8 points. And can I say the average for this week was 8.2. So if you got 8 and above, you were average and above. 8 gets you an average, 9 gets you above average, and they're on. So you scored 8 points, Phil, this week. And what that did for you in the league table, you're another one. I know you definitely moved up because I remember seeing your name in green. Right, so Phil Coys. Phil, there you are. You've climbed into 31st place, Phil. So we currently now have 82 people playing, and you've climbed into 31st, Phil. Right, is that everyone? Yeah. Right. Right, so that's everyone there. Right, so what question was? So I did say I'm going to ask you all a question. Right, and I need to find the question. Right, I got feedback last week, right, from everybody. Well, it's from quite a few people. People said they enjoyed Friday's show, right? And people said that they enjoyed doing non-Premiership games. So it got me thinking. It could be an off-season thing that we do, where we can carry on the predictions off-season, and I can just pick games randomly from other parts of the world that are still playing matches, and we can have an off-season one if you like. But I thought, what could we do for now? So the only time we ever change the predictions is when there's an international week, when we got a break, or when we got the winter break, where only 5 teams play in the Premiership 1 week, and then we fill up the rest of the games with other leagues, like we did last year. But I was just thinking out loud with all the information and everything I was receiving comments back from people and this is up to you. So there's 24 of you watching now, and I will take the majority of so it's just a yes or a no. And all I wanted to know, right, is every week that we do the predictions for Premiership, do you guys want me to add on 2 bonus predictions to each Premiership week? So it'll be 2 random games from anywhere that I choose from. It can be League One, it can be League Two, it can be Scottish again, it can be Welsh, it can be Zambia, Grenada, it can be absolutely anywhere. But I will pick 2 matches every week to go with the predictions. So we'll do the 10 Premierships, and then we'll do 2 off the cuff ones from other leagues, and we'll make them count. If you want me to do it, then I don't mind starting it this week, but I need to know from yourselves. And as democracy, it's the majority will rule, and that's what I'll go for. So at the moment, you've got a yes from Ryan G, a yes from Drula. Carl Simpson's a yes. David Shear's a no. Adrian is a no. David Clark's a no. Ed M's a no. So I've got 3 yes. That's not everybody yet. I need everyone to give it the yes or no treatment. So yes, I have 3. And no, I have 4. Right. Right. Quez is saying yes. Who else is? Phil says a no. Nick says a yes. That's 5 each. Yeah, I'm desperate for more random what the fuck team scores after racking up my man with 6 points this week. Why not? Winning is overrated. So that's 6-5 on the yeses. Big John says yes, that's 7. Mikey says yeah, that's 8. Colin Blackshaw says yeah, that's 9. Alan says no, that's 6. Only 2 fixtures. So when I do the Premiership predictions, it will be the same 10 predictions, such as the Premiership, and all I will do every week is add two random ones to the 10 that we do from the Premiership, and that's it. Just do that. That's what I'm asking to do. So Leeds in, I agree. Kuba says yeah. Kuba says Leeds in, I agree. So at the moment, Ronnie says yes. So at the moment, we've got 27 people in here, but I've got only 16 votes. And at the moment, it's 10 for yes and 6 for no. So anybody else want to hit the yes or no? Yes needs an 80% for a win. It doesn't. It doesn't. It's the majority rules. You know the scores. You know the routines in a democracy that we live in. It's the amount of yeses versus the no. So at the moment it's 10-6. So 10-6 in favour that I add 2 further. Johnny Bethnal Green has given a yes. So it's 11 yeses and 6 nos. Daniel Cook says there are some good Mozambique football to predict. I trust. So can I say that I do this already? I'm in a competition that is run off season, and you get given 8 fixtures a week or 8 fixtures on a game day, and you have to alternate between home and away, and you play against other people in your league. And this week I had to predict away, and I went for Notts County. And it's a score that counts. So I went for Notts County, and they scored 2 goals. And the team that were playing at home against me are Queen's Park Rangers from Grenada, who were playing against St John's. Their match should have kicked off at 9 p.m. on Saturday evening. I still haven't found the result. I keep looking on Flash Score and that, and it's not giving me the score for the match yet. So I don't know how I've ended up with the result against Queen's Park Rangers of Grenada, who were playing St John's. So the obscure leagues and that, I know all about them because we play in them already. Not that I know about the teams, not that I know about the teams and that, but we play on them already. So when you get the fixture list down, it says today we're going to Bulgaria, we're going to Korea. You go to Korea, you look for Korea, and the teams that he's picked are from the Korean 2 League. So even more obscure. The Korean second division, even more obscure. When he says we're going to Ireland, and he starts picking teams for Ireland, right? You end up with teams. Instead of being the Irish Premier, he's gone to the Irish First Division. So you've got teams that you're like, well, what league do they play then? Because I can't find them anywhere. So it's quite obscure. It's quite obscure. And you've got right. That's how Brexit happened, Jose. It could mean the channel going up in flames. We've got 10 no's from Adrian, and then he says, and another no. Ed M is saying, do we have to pay attention to the Scottish Division 4th North now? I don't know, because they could be from anywhere. David says, at the Madagascar League, I hear Dodos United have made a comeback. Julia says, do it, Jose, for us who said yes, and the ones who said no can do one. As I said, I'm going to go with the majority. USL Championship, it could be Quez, it can be games from anywhere. I'm only proposing to do 2 because their predictions could be another show on its own doing foreign leagues, but it's just doing a couple. David Clark's not happy, is he? He's not happy with the majority, David. I can see his comment. I'm going to come to it. Why not just the SPL, says Nick. Finn Harps versus Bray Wanderers. This is the kind of thing I'm talking about. Teams that ain't, they're teams that sit somewhere else. Who did I have? Bray. You got Bray already. But I've had other teams come up, and I'm like, what league are they in? Like Donegal United, and I'm like, what? Well, they're not in the first division. So yeah, it's quite difficult. David Clark's not happy. Easy. Look at that. Why call it Premier League predictions just to call it Mickey? Just call it Mickey Mouse predictions. Aye, aye, aye. Add Spurs academies under 21s and under 18s. Well, that'd be very unpredictable. David Costa said he was happy to take 2-game hit each week. That was Daniel saying he royally. Oh, sorry, where's that gone now? Yeah, hit the like button, everyone, please. You lot are making me laugh. Sorry, I can't keep up with it. He really wants to mug. He really wants to mug us off weekly. No, don't. It's up to you lot. You lot are the ones that take part in this. I'm asking you the questions because you guys, the feedback I got from Friday is people really enjoyed it because it wasn't about the Premiership. And I understand that we do this only on international breaks and on winter breaks where I add some games on the winter breaks. So, I'm quite happy to run along with it all, but it's just an idea from the feedback that I've got that I'm floating around. And I just thought to myself, put it out there and we take the majority of people on what their wishes are. And that's the only reason I'm asking the question. Roundtable Talk says, keep in mind, y'all, we are only talking 2 extra credit games. That's it. It's only 2 games. That's all I wanted to say. It was 2 games. And you can just call it a bonus section. For those that don't want to do it, then don't pick your 2 extra games. It's as simple as that. If you switch off, don't pick any more after the Premier League, and then don't pick the 2 extra games. But then for the people that do pick the 2 extra games, you could end up scoring extra points. But I'm not asking people that you have to do it. I just think that we should go with the majority. And at the moment, it stands at 11-6. I don't know whether I need to do another poll in the bloody community page. Right, this is bugger me, Jose. It's a 3-hour show at the moment. I see us doing an all-nighter. No, do you know what? With Alan's able assistance, and I thank Alan very much for helping me out on Friday, because although I can do the predictions quite comfortably on my Jacks, and I did that the week before with the Premiership, but doing 18 games, I thought it was 17, but doing 18 games it was full on. Trying to get across the page of the Excel spreadsheet was madness as well, because you went on to the next page. So yeah, it was quite tricky doing it. But I thank Alan very much for helping me out. But even doing that show, we only did 2 hours and 32 minutes, and that was on 18 teams. Usually we take just under 2 hours doing 10 teams from the Premiership. So at the end of the day, it is what it is. Jula is like, it's bloody 2 extra teams, FFS. It's not like it's 18. Edem must do all these mad bets because he's coming with St. Francis versus Salt Hill United. Bring it on. Adrian is, I struggle with 6 lottery numbers, let alone 12 predictions. David Clark says, I want Quorn versus Anstey Nomads then. Carl Simpson say, I say we do it 72 games. Split Jose, do it Tel Cockerel Super League, and us tours can leave these losers behind. Ooh. Accurate and Stanley have so much to answer for, says Adrian. And Davies says, as long as the rottenest island league is included, it's called the Quokka League. Daniel says Friday it was Jose telling off in the loo for telling jokes. Now it's Julia telling off the chat today. And this is what happens when you all get to know each other. You can tell each other off. I say do an extra 20 games and take it up until 12 midnight to get it done. Are we saying that 2 extra games makes us the Super League? Well, not in my eyes, it doesn't. It could be in your eyes, but it's not in my eyes. First, I say, Jose, you can include Leeds each week as we are friends with Jess and the Leeds crew. Yeah, but I understand that, but then I could do that, but then it means it takes one of the games away. So it means if we did that, it'd be one game that I'm looking at. Just one game. And then what I'll do is we'll get a supporter that supports, I don't know, someone that supports Sheffield United, because we've got someone that supports Sheffield United. We want them included, and they become the 12th game, so to speak. So, but yeah, I'll be interested. People reach out to me, tell me what their thoughts are. Then we can go ahead and do it. And them saying splitters can leave, but they can't pick any of us stayers' scores. Ooh. It says Jose is a predictions league rebel. As I said, Daniel, all right, and to everybody, it's the comments that you guys have been making after the Friday show that's made me say, okay, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to put it to you guys to see what you think, because I'm going on the feedback that I was given. It's quite interesting because not everyone took part in it last week, but we ended up with how many did we end up with? We ended up with 37 people taking part last week. So it's quite clear that when Premiership is not on, some people do switch off. So yeah, so last week the people that normally that didn't play last week would have been Inner Hype, Lee Wiskid, Angus, Matty Kushner, Adrian Chia, DJ Samuel, Chang, Finn, Rickwood, Sava, Howard Ailes, James Love Spurs, Neil, Nigel Purecoys, Dave Williams, Julie, Tigaro, Colin, AJ, Kate and Jim, Nick Collison, and then the rest of the people that haven't played for a while, a hit and miss and coming in and playing. So we had quite a few people play last week, and as I said, a lot of the feedback, when I say a lot of it, there was not one person that said, "Nah, shouldn't do these predictions." No one said, "Oh, I'm not going to enter it because it's not Premiership." It's just people were here, people did it, and some people didn't do it. And I appreciate that some people have got lives and do not watch the shows on Friday regularly. And if so, that's the game, and that's the game. But I just thought I'd put it out there for you guys. Ryan G says we do have the online Premier League predictions as well, so I see no issue with making this one slightly different. Ryan G being diplomatic as usual. Eden, make it a club game a Spurs player is on loan at. There you go. There's another interesting comment there. Seriously, Jose, these stayers are a bunch of whiners. They don't deserve a full and comprehensive predictions experience. FFS. Adrian is still on the no, another no, and no, no, no. It's still 11-6. it's still 11-6 for the yeses as opposed to the no's. Dozy says, okay, Drew bullied me into saying yes, and it scared the F out of me. David Clark says, I say, why not pick live Sky games and guess the height of the mascots that come out with the players? Oh, Carl Simpson, I quite like not having the pressure of pretending Spurs are going to win every week. Yeah, I suppose that did make a difference because the pressure's off on having to give a score for your own team and that. So the pressure was off, but at the end of the day, we need this to be decided by VAR, says Adrian. God, we got. I tell you what, the good thing about this community is we have got a serious bunch of jokers here, haven't we? A serious bunch of jokers. Yeah. At the end of the day, I may put something out. What I'm going to put. Well, do I need to put a poll up really? Because at the moment we've had 11 against 6. Now that is not everybody. What I'll do is I'm going to put a poll up in the community section. I'll keep this as 11-6 for the time being. But I'll put a poll up in the community section, and I'll close it in a couple of days' time. So that gives us an opportunity, or gives me an opportunity to tell me what I'm going to be doing on Friday. That's the pot calling the kettle white like my curtains, says David Shear. David Clark says, Kuva, it's Premiership predictions for a reason. Why not call our club Tottenham Hotspur Arsenal FC? Yeah. Kuva says, sod diplomacy, enforce the extra teams and call out those people against it. We'll get you back if it comes in the fight in the car park, Jose. Nick says, you could do Hey, what do you mean, Jose? I'm a serious gent. Oh, Jose, no need for a poll. The eyes have it. The eyes do certainly have it at the moment. Castle says David S is going to make loads of accounts and smash that no in the poll. I actually thought, Carl, in all honesty, I actually thought that the person that was going to do that would be Adrian, because Adrian is the one that keeps voting and stamping and shouting. He's got the megaphone out and he's going, no, no, no. He's out there rallying the troops. No, say no. So if anyone was going to do that, it wouldn't have been David Shear. It would have been Adrian, I would have thought. But yeah, it is what it is. No campaign. Make use of those VPNs, says NM. So yeah, apart from that, football-wise, the international break will draw to a close tomorrow. So regardless of where you're playing in the world, some play earlier than others, but because obviously the time zones are different, but the games will all probably play by tomorrow. A lot of players will be back at Tottenham Hotspur away by Wednesday. Although saying that, I looked at the results yesterday that have been played, and the only player that we get back without injury, that is, injury aside, the only player that we get back who's gone out on international duty is Dominic Solanke, because England have played their 2 games. So that means that England, after yesterday, when they fly back in from Finland, they'll go back to the respective clubs. So therefore, Solanke would be back at Tottenham Hotspur away today. If they were training, he'd be back today, training. And nobody else, everybody else is still playing. So whether they're playing for the unders or whether they're playing for the first team squads, you still got players playing. So today, after today, for tomorrow, excuse me, Sweden are playing, so we'll get back the 2 players that we've got playing for Sweden. We'll get Bergvall back and Kulusevski back tomorrow, because they're playing out in Estonia tonight. So them 2 will be back tomorrow. We don't have any Azerbaijani, Slovakians, Georgians, Albanians, Estonians. We don't have any Ukrainians or Czechs. Belgium or France, we don't have either at the moment. Italy play tonight against Israel. So that means that with Italy playing tonight, we will get Vicario and Udogie back. And so they'll be back at Tottenham Hotspur away tomorrow. And then we've got Van der Ven, who's still out with the Dutch squad. He will be back tomorrow. We don't have any Bosnians, Hungarians, or Germans. We don't have any Icelandic or Turkish. Wales play tomorrow night against Montenegro, which means that we would get Brennan Johnson back tomorrow. The people in the African qualifiers. Now, who's playing today in the African qualifiers? Because some of these have kicked off already. So we haven't got any Gambians, Madagascars, Liberians, Equatorial Guineans. We haven't got no Togoans, any Algerians, Eswatis or Mozambiques. Kenya versus Cameroon. We've got a Cameroonian player, haven't we? Is he in the lineup tonight? Is my boy in the lineup tonight? No, he's not. He's not Cameroonian. What am I talking about? He's not Cameroon. Sorry, bear, ignore me. Zimbabwean or Namibian? No, we haven't got. Anyone in the under 21s playing tonight? No. Right, so they're the players that will be back tomorrow. And then on Tuesday, when it all finishes up and all selling good, by Wednesday, we will then have any people that are left over. So Romania, so Dragosin is playing for Romania tomorrow night, so he'll be back Wednesday if he's fit and available. Spain, Pedro Porro will be back on Wednesday. We don't have anyone else from the other teams there. And then from African nations, God, the team's not playing this week or what? Ivory Coast. Do we have anyone from the Ivory Coast? Like Mali are playing. So Mali are playing at 5 o'clock on Tuesday. So that means Basuma will be back then. Who the bloody hell? Who does? Oh, Senegal. So Senegal there. So Pape Sarr will be playing on Tuesday night, tomorrow. So perhaps I ain't going to be back till Wednesday. And then under 21s and all stuff. So all the unders that are playing, the under 17s, the under 21s, the under 19s, the under 20s, all the players we've got involved in that will all be back. Worst case scenario, all back by Wednesday. And then Saturday, we're back to the Premiership. We're back to the Premiership on Saturday. So, and we're first kickoff Saturday. We're 12:30 in the morning. So we're first kickoff. What you saying? What you saying here? The vote has been rigged. The vote has been rigged. No postal votes included. Oh, here we go. Coover says that he's up for it. Rebrand the show to call it LTEL's Football Revolution, the People's Predictions League. Ryan G says, I hate the international break, but we have Man City at the weekend, so I'm not looking forward to the weekend either. Are you? I've not even looked at the fixtures this weekend. Is there? No, there won't be no Friday games, is there? No, but there's a Friday game. Right. If do you know what? I talked about Leeds and Sheffield United because we've got people that support Leeds that come here, and we've got Sheffield United supporter that comes here as well. Guess who's playing Friday night? The early game, i.e., the first game of the weekend. It's Leeds versus bloody Sheffield United. Saturday's matches are Tottenham versus West Ham at 12:30. Fulham play Villa at 3. Ipswich Everton at 3. Man United Brentford at 3. Newcastle Brighton at 3. Southampton Leicester at 3. And Bournemouth will play Arsenal at 5:30. Well, that's 7 games. And then on Sunday, is that 3 games on Sunday? No, there's only 2 games Sunday. So Wolves play Man City at 2 o'clock. Liverpool play Chelsea at 4:30. And then the Monday night game is Forest Palace. So that might be a bit of a bummer for me because I'll be at work. So the predictions scores may have to wait a bit later next week. Probably won't be able to get them in done till probably a bit late. Oh my God. It might even be a late show on a Wednesday. Might have to do an evening show on a Wednesday in order to get them predictions because I'll be away for work. David Clark says there's another England friendly at the end of October. And by the way, Bergvall is injured. Is he? Okay. Oderbert looks like he's been back ahead of his schedule, says Dan Coys. Ronnie says Bergvall has left the Sweden camp, injured, returning to Tottenham for rehab. Bergvall's had a knock. He's on his way back to Spurs. I didn't know nothing about this. You're enlightening me because I didn't know. BJ's hot form continues, scoring 2 goals for Wales. Johnson is suspended, so won't play for Wales. Okay, so we get him back. If he's not back already, because he might have left. If he's been suspended, he may have left and already come back then if he's not playing. Richie's back in training, says Spurs diehards. Ronnie says Johnson came off for Wales at half time as a big doubt for the West Ham game. Is he? Is he? Daniel Coy says Dave, he scored 1, right? I don't think he scored Wales' other goal against Iceland. Adrian, he bruised his tattoo, Cobber. He's out till after Christmas. Gus Parker says, oof, I'm late. I had to rewind. Hope you're all good. Gus, do you know where you are in the league table? Do you know where you are with your points for this week? If you do, I can let you know, unless you've already gone and looked at it. A 7:30 game. Yes, it's the early game Saturday, so 12:30. So it's the game that kicks the weekend off. And in all honesty, just to say it to people so you're aware now, if Tottenham did not get a result on Saturday at 12:30, then you won't hear the end of it. And the reason why I say that is because we play first. And it usually tends to happen that if you play first and you don't get a result, then all weekend it's about Tottenham, blah blah blah. So basically, what you want to do is you want to kick off the weekend in style and win your game, and and then it eases the kind of pressure off everybody, so to speak. So not only the manager, the players and stuff like that, but even the fans, supporters, it eases the pressure off them because you started off your weekend with a victory, and it sets you up for the weekend type thing because we're the early game. So yeah, it comes with its pitfalls as well. Pep to England, City to the pages of history, says Ben. Gus Parker says, yes, I saw it, Jose. Cheers. Yeah, no worries at all. Dan Coy says, Ben, Pep to England, if only. And David Clark says, Johnson got a kick and was taken off as a precaution. He will be fit for Saturday. So, yeah, it's a Friday show. I'm away for work next couple of days. So, at the moment, the only plan I've got is to be on again on Friday. I might throw I might throw in a sorry. So yeah, sorry. So what's going to happen is that if I do throw in a show or a couple of shows in between, I will do so. But otherwise, it's going to have to be on Friday. Will be my next show planned. I'm not sure whether I do anything Wednesday or Thursday. But yeah, just look out. But Friday, I'll definitely I'll put something in the poll in the community page and decide what we're going to do for Friday. I don't want to upset people in the group. I'd rather you just still be happy-go-lucky people and get on with each other. The vote says we're split, but yeah, who says? Right. Gus Park says, I said I bet on Johnson to score. Sadly, I done Wincast and Wales dumped a 2-goal lead. Jose says, by the way, Jose, I'm changing my vote to no. I have a flip-flop reputation to uphold, and to be honest, yeah, the show is pretty long already. Okay, fair enough. Gotta go, Jose. Chat, hello. Thank you, Jose. Gotta take care of yourself, mate. One more day off work tomorrow, and then I'm off for 15 days. Daniel, I hope you have a really good time off, mate. Are you off anywhere, or are you just off because you're taking time out of work and stuff like that? But whatever you do, mate, I hope it all goes really well. Look, everyone, thank you very much for watching today. Thank you very much for tuning in. Those that are watching on playback and that, I appreciate each and every one of you, and I hope that you'll have good uh, a good week. And until I next see you again, I hope you all have a fantastic week and take care of yourselves. Yeah. So thank you very much, everyone. And the other thing I was going to say, I'm going to try and fit in a member show again next weekend. And what I might do is I might not tell people when I'm doing it, because the best show to have, right? The best show to have is to have a show when we've won a game. So if and when we win on Saturday, then I will do a member show on Saturday evening. So like that, I can capture the early birds in Australia and the late afternoon people in America, and I can catch all you lovely people in Europe as well. And we can all have a chat, all things Tottenham. So yeah, so what I'll try and do is I'll probably end up doing another member show, and it will be on Saturday, so I can get everybody in. But yeah, so if you're a member, look out for that, because it only goes out to people that are members. So without further ado, I'm signing out because I've got to go and play football as well. I'm signing out with Come On You Mighty Spurs, and in the big Ange, I trust. Cheers, everyone. Take care of yourselves. Bye.